Hey, how you going? This week we're going to be having a look at rotation and a key drill that's integral in being able to develop strong rotation that will help you to be able to get yourself into better position to become more efficient in the water and to produce more power. Now, being able to control your rotation is really important. What we want to be able to try and do is sit on this central axis where you are rotating around an axis that's gone through the top of your head and out through the bottom of your feet. Not a pole that sticks down your back of your spine and then you rotate around that. And we see that quite often. That's where some of the wagging comes from. And it looks a little bit more like a rotation as if you're leaning against a pole and then rotating around that pole, as opposed to rotating on the axis that you've gone through the top. It's like a reverse of a Subbuteo man on the football tables. And that's what we're trying to do. So this drill here is really trying to help you to engage with that rotation and engage the right muscles in order to be able to get balance in the water and to get the rotation and where it's driving from. Now, we want rotation to be driven from your core, not from your shoulders, so not leading with the shoulders and trying to breathe out, but actually initiating from your hips. So you rotate, you pull the lower core muscle. So you imagine just above your pelvis, you're pulling in the muscles there to pull and roll your pelvis back. Now, when you're kicking, those are engaged, and you're trying to use that and your glutes to then rotate your hips round and allow your shoulders to follow, keeping your head nice and still on your shoulders. So every now and then you're going to need to breathe. If you've got a snorkel, you don't. You keep your head nice and still. But every now and then you're rotating and you're keeping your head nice and straight. Looking about 45 degrees forwards. So if you're in a 2-meter pool, you're looking about 2 meters in front of you. And your head's in that nice extended position, not slouched down, not driven into the water. That makes it even more difficult to breathe. But good body position to start with. And then start to initiate the rotation over onto one side. Then back round onto the other side, keeping the head nice and still, or as still as you can. If you can't quite go, if you're going too far in the rotation, means your head starts to follow and you can't do much about it, then don't go quite as far. Okay, hold your rotation back a little bit, so you're maybe going to there, as opposed to all the way around. Now that'll be a little bit of mobility in your neck, but it's not a problem because you never rotate that far normally in your full stroke. So, as we can see Chris here demonstrating, that is a really difficult drill. It's a really challenging drill, and you need a good kick, good propulsion to be able to do it. Even if you're not doing it perfectly, which to be fair, Chris is not doing it perfectly. It is a really challenging drill. You have to be a really good swimmer to really master this. But just because you can't master it doesn't mean to say it's not effective. As with all drills, the intention has to be here to try and do it right. If you just play the motions and go, yeah, I'm doing it, then, and you're not really focusing upon trying to do it right, you won't get the main benefit from it. But if your brain is saying, move my hips, and your hips are a little bit sinking, or your head's in having to reach up to try and breathe, the fact that you're trying to make the connections and you're trying to do it right will have a positive effect. And you will start to get better at doing it as well. And then that will translate more and more into your full stroke. And that is obviously another key point with drills. From this drill, you need to think about how does this incorporate back into my full stroke? And it does that because you continue to engage that rotation in your stroke. And I would generally do this as 25 meters drill, 25 meters swim. And as you go through, you're really looking to try and extend there and rotate through with your hips. And then as the other arm comes in, again, you're driving your hips round and extending with your shoulder into position. So let's have a little look at this from another angle. Okay, hands by the side, nice good kicking position, breath. Now I would try and breathe as infrequently as possible on this because you then get a much better execution of the drill and not so much about the breathing. And that's why having the snorkel is great, because you can then just carry on doing the exercise and not have to worry too much about where the air is coming from. Over onto the side. One of the things that we've done since we filmed this with this drill is we've actually started to modify it slightly, and we're really looking to try and speed up the rotation through a quicker rotation of the hips, so that actually you're going from side to side much faster. And from the side, here we have Chris. So you can see the difference here, the hip to water height there, just not quite got control over it yet. Now, in Chris's defence, this is not a drill he would have done when he was swimming properly. Don't try and get it in too many rotations. Keep it nice and smooth. Get the rhythm going. Imagine you've got arms going over and there's a nice rhythm going from side to side to side. You can use a tempo trainer on this to set the rhythm. So if you're used to using a tempo trainer for your stroke rates, then put the tempo trainer in at a comfortable stroke rate and you can use that to help guide the rhythm that you've got. Okay, let's have a look at somebody doing this quite nicely. This is a different level swimmer. You can see the powerful kick that she's got. She's doing it without fins on, and you can see the difference between Chris and her is how high that body position is in the water. That she's able to maintain feet, hips, shoulders all in a nice line, all nice and high in the water. She still has to reach around to breathe, but you can see driving from the hips through. Head nice and still when she's not needing to breathe. Head still, rotate, head still looking forward, and then she's just finishing the exercise. So hopefully from that, you're able to see how rotation can be important and how to actually execute the corpse drill and how to transfer that into your full stroke. Check back here later. Please like and subscribe the channel if you like the content that we're putting out. It does make a difference, and I would appreciate it. See you soon in the next one.